Hi friends, my name is Dr. Ranganath and welcome to my YouTube channel. So on the occasion of World Arthritis Day, I had delivered a lecture in our medical college where I had spoken about the importance of lifestyle in prevention of multiple diseases. So many of them gave a feedback that the presentation was really nice and some of them wanted me to share the presentation with them. So I thought I would make a video again, make this presentation and share it on my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to share about why we are facing health problems in present day world and how we can prevent these problems. So let's go into this presentation straight away. So the second pillar is going to be nutrition. And it is very important to know that previously in older days, people had very little energy dense food. Whatever food that was available was more in nutrition. That is, the nutrient value was good, but the calories were less. And movement was natural and necessary. So as a part of their day-to-day activities, there was a lot of movement, physical activity involved. People never had access to gyms. There was no concept of gym, and there was no concept of doing exercises, because exercise or physical activity was all required as a part of their daily lifestyle. There was so much of running around, so much of walking, so much of climbing, and so much of hard work that was involved as part of their lifestyle. So what has happened today is the calorie dense foods have increased and physical inactivity activity has decreased, and which has led to physical inactivities. People are no longer eating more and not moving, and moving less. So this leads to accumulation of calories. So whatever calories, if you're not burning, that will get stored in the form of fat, and that will lead to multiple health problems. So the modern foods, are calorie dense. They're devoid of fiber. There's no fiber. The nutrition is less. There is no nutritional value, although they're calorie rich. Water is not there. And they also come with a lot of food additives, that are chemicals that are required to preserve the food for a long period of time. And the most important thing is food is readily available 24/7. You can store the food at your home. You can order food at any point of time, and food is easily accessible. So that is also leading to increased consumption of calories. And the other important thing is, humans or any animal for that matter, as an innate quality, that is, we have a capacity to choose foods that are energy rich. Suppose you have a plate of salad in front of you and a plate of ice cream. 99% of the times you would choose an ice cream rather than a salad, because the brain knows that ice cream has more calories, and it is always important to get in more and more calories and store it, so that in future, if calorie is not, the energy food is not given, that calories can be utilized. So the brain is always biased towards getting more and more calorie rich food. So if you are not conscious, obviously you will always try and pick a food that is high in calories. But in previous years, that is, when an older lifestyle, it was everything in balance, because the availability of calorie rich foods were less, and obviously movement was all happening in a natural way. But with modern foods, this has changed, and this is what is leading to increased consumption of calories. And the humans are also designed to consume calories more efficiently. So we all can eat a 200 calorie chocolate in a couple of minutes, whereas we require at least more than 30 minutes of time to burn the same amount of calories on a treadmill. So even if you run on a treadmill, you require at least 30 minutes to burn the same 200 calories that you consume within a couple of minutes. So all these are adaptations which have happened so that we can consume and get more and more calories and store it in the form of fat. So this is basically a survival mechanism, because it is okay to be obese. That is, it is okay to be obese. That's the body can live with obesity instead of die of starvation, because the body's the brain and biology is designed in a way that we should not die of starvation without food. It is okay that you can be obese for a certain period of time and not die of starvation. So this genetic susceptibility, this susceptibility of accumulating food and accumulating energy in the form of fat, is actually what is causing the problems today, because this genetic susceptibility was there even previously, but the environment was in such a way that this genetic susceptibility, or this the way the body works, the lifestyle was not like that in the previous years. And since the lifestyle has changed, the safety mechanisms that have been designed in the body, which are actually for our own good, are actually causing diseases in the present day environment. So it is very important to know that you can never outrun a bad diet. Many people think that I can eat anything and everything, and I will burn all those calories in a gym workout, but the body doesn't work like that. So you cannot outrun a bad diet. So what is happening to diet today is we are eating more than we should. There is a lot of high carbohydrate, salt, and sugary diet. There is high intake of processed food. So food that is processed and rich in calories. There is increased consumption of vegetable oils, and we are decreasing the consumption of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and also the protein intake is lesser. So food is easily accessible. So you can go to any. This is a photograph of food street in Bangalore. So you go to any road, at least third or fourth shop is an eatery, and all the eateries are full with people in the evening. And with this environment, it is difficult to control the amount of food that people are eating. And also you can easily order food from the comfort of your home at any point of time, and get food to your place without actually moving an inch. And this is also causing a lot of problems in terms of increased consumption of calories. And the portion sizes have also increased, so people are overeating. You go to a buffet, you pay 1,000 rupees, and obviously you would like to extract the amount that you have paid, and this leads to overconsumption of food. And the portion size, not only at functions or any restaurant you go where they serve a buffet kind of food, obviously the portion size is going to be increased, and people tend to consume a lot of food that is more than what is actually required. And the other important thing is the sugar intake has increased. The recommended daily allowance for sugar is actually not more than 5 or 6 teaspoons. And many of us might not be consuming directly sugar, but it is important to know that sugar is hidden in many packed food, because it is either sugar, salt, or flour, that is refined flour, that is generally used in combination for various packed foods. So Indians presently are consuming more than 17 teaspoons per day of sugar without their knowledge, because most of this is coming from sources that they generally do not think that it has a lot of sugar. For example, a biscuit or a sauce, there are a lot of foods that contain a lot of sugar, and if you eat many such foods, the total amount of sugar that you consume obviously will increase, and this will get stored as fat. So the other important problem is we have a predominantly high grain based. So we eat a lot of grains, all three types, both in breakfast, dinner, and lunch. So we should note that grains contain 65 to 90% of carbohydrates. So more the refined grains, the more is the content of carbohydrates. A maida or white rice almost contains 90% carbohydrate. And ultimately, when the body digests or breaks down this carbohydrate, it will be converted into glucose. And if the glucose is not utilized on the same day, it will be stored as fat. So we have to decrease our consumption of carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates. So if coming to what to eat, there are 9 principles of good food that we need to follow. The food has to be wholesome, like this way that is available in the nature with very minimal processing. We have to eat a lot of living food. Living food in terms of food that is available directly from the nature is living. That is, you put sprouts into the ground, and obviously you'll see a small plant coming out. So there are a lot of living enzymes still present in that particular food, which helps in digestion of that particular food. So anything that comes in a packet is a dead food. So eat as much as living food that is possible, predominantly plant-based, water-rich, and learn to eat as your ancestors. So from your ancestry, what I mean from your ancestry is the kind of grains or the kind of fruits, vegetables your ancestors have been exposed, that is actually good for you. For example, if your ancestors were eating a lot of non-vegetarian food, it is okay for you to eat non-vegetarian food, because your genes will be adapted to handle that kind of food. Suppose your ancestors were predominantly vegetarians and you start eating non-vegetarian food. Now your genes and biology will not be able to handle that kind of fat and protein that is present in that food, and you will have more problems when it comes to people who are whose ancestors were predominantly eating non-vegetarian kind of food. So, and the other thing is the food should be fresh. Predominantly eat whatever is done on the same day. Do not store in the refrigerator and eat the other day or the next day. So predominantly eat fresh food, and fruit should be as colorful as possible. It's called a rainbow diet. The more is the color in your variety, that means there is a lot of variety that you are adding to your food, and each food has a different a combination of carbohydrates, proteins, and also other vitamins and minerals. So if you eat a different variety of food, different colorful food, whatever is required for the body, you will be able to giving to the body in adequate quantities by eating different varieties of food. And predominantly you should be eating food that is cooked at home. Once in a while it is okay to have food at a restaurant, but at least 70 to 80% of what you eat should be cooked at home. And the other thing is regional and seasonal. So whatever is available in your own region, whatever is grown in that particular season, that is actually more useful, because the nature knows what is required for the body. So whatever is available in your region is actually sufficient for you. You need not eat a fancy food that is coming from thousands of miles from a different country or a different continent just because the research said that it is healthy. So you need not buy that particular food and eat it, because whatever is easily available in your local area is actually sufficient for you. So the other thing is when to eat. So you should actually eat only when angry, not as per time. We normally eat as per time. So morning 8:30 or 9 o'clock we have our breakfast, 1 o'clock we have our lunch, afternoon we have, evening we have some snack, and again night we have our dinner. So you should generally think before eating any food for that matter, are you hungry? That is the first question that you need to ask yourself, because what is this sign or symptom of hunger? Hunger is the body's indication that the energy levels are coming down, or there is no food in your system and the body is ready to receive food. So when you give food, when the body is ready to receive food, the body will be able to handle and digest that food in a better manner, and that particular food will actually add value and add nutrition or calories, whatever, in a better way. So if you keep on stuffing food when the body is not ready to receive food, so that will lead to not absorbing proper nutrients and also lead to excess consumption of calories. So how many times to eat is also a very important thing. There is a saying in Kannada where if you eat once, you are called a yogi. If you eat twice, then you are called a bogi. And if you eat thrice, then you are called a rogi. And if you eat 4 times, then it is said that etkondogi. That means you will, it is as good as dying. So normally most of us doesn't require more than 2 meals a day. So if you're eating at least 3 or 4 meals a day, definitely that is going to be a excess calorie intake. So what you can do is have 2 meals, and one meal could be predominantly raw or snack kind of a thing, where you eat a lot of healthy food in that particular food. So if you're eating 3 or 4 meals a day, definitely you'll be consuming a lot of calories in the present day environment. So you cut down on refined carbohydrates, sugar, oily and fried food, and also processed and packed food. So you can follow this ratio eating, what I call is 25-25-25 formula, where 25% of it is grains, 25% of it is some protein, either it could be pulses or whatever, and 25% is raw and 25% is cooked vegetables. You don't have to measure and eat, just focus so that you can use this compartment plate, and so that it will help in having a different variety of food, so that you are not overeating a lot of refined carbohydrates. The third pillar is going to be physical activity. So whatever be energy that is spent on a single day, most of it is actually going for maintenance of the body, which call it as basic metabolic rate. 50 to 60% of energy is actually used for normal maintenance of the body, and 10% is used for digestion. So only 30 to 40% of the total energy that we spend goes for actually activities. There are two things when it comes to activities. One is exercise, the other is non-exercise physical activities, that is not activities that we're doing during the course of the day. And you can see that non-exercise physical activity, there you can actually burn twice more the calories as compared to burning calories by doing exercises, because there is a lot of scope of increasing your calorie expenditure, that is burning more calories, if you can spend more on this non-exercise physical, that is spending more calories during the course of the day, rather than trying to spend or trying to burn more calories by doing an exercise. Because in our present day environment, most of us will not be able to give adequate time to do exercise, even though if you might be having a gym membership, because your schedule generally will not allow you to attend your gym schedules every day. So if you can focus on increasing your energy expenditure during the course of the day, during the course of your normal work, so you will be able to spend more calories without spending extra time. So one simple thing that you can do is a step count, because if you can do at least 10,000 steps a day, that will help in burning a lot of calories. So you can start using the smartwatch to measure the amount of steps that you are actually taking in a single day, and if you gradually try to increase it. And the other most important thing is, wherever possible, use stairs instead of lift, because if you can use at least 10 to 12 flight of stairs every day, that will help in burning a lot of calories, because this is an anti-gravity exercise. You are going against gravity, which require more and more calories. So you'll be able to burn a lot of calories. So there are a lot of things that you can do in this manner. So when it comes to exercise, you also always have to focus on not only on aerobics, but also on strength training, so that you will improve our muscle bulk, because the amount of muscle you have is an insurance against diseases. The more muscle you have, the more the lesser the chance of getting diseases. So the fourth pillar is going to be breathing. So most of us use only about 25 to 30% of the lung capacity. So when we are actually stressed out, what we do is a very shallow and fast kind of breathing. So when we do a shallow and fast breathing, what happens is there is inadequate, less oxygen that is going inside the body, and the carbon dioxide, that is waste that is produced in the body, is not actually being thrown out. So this will lead to less oxygen and more carbon dioxide in the body, which is actually causing a lot of problems, because we are breathing more than 13,000 liters of air every day. So if you're not breathing properly, this is going to add to a lot of problems. So you can improve breathing by doing breathing exercises like pranayama and other things. Exercises will also improve your breathing. So if you focus on this, then you'll be able to reverse or prevent a lot of health problems. So the next pillar is going to be stress. Managing stress, especially in the present day environment, is vitally important. So maintaining a proper routine, prioritizing your goal, learning to say no, and incorporating stress management tools like meditation, pranayama, time management, and getting adequate sleep and exercise will also help in managing stress. And the other thing is social interaction. So previously people had a lot of social interaction, but they used to get together. People used to meet in the evening when they were free, have a chit chat and discuss and share things. Nowadays people are always on social media. You might have thousands of friends on Facebook or Instagram, but you will hardly have friends who you can call them as real friends. If there is some emergency that is there in your house, so you will probably think of whom to call, because there is even your neighbors will not, many of them will not know what is the name of your neighbors. So that is a kind of lifestyle that we are leading. People are more into the social media interaction rather than the actual social interaction. So it is better to have a good quality friends. And even though if the number of friends might be limited, but if you can constantly interact with them, constantly meet up, play some game with them, or uh, do holiday, or whatever is possible from your side, if this social interaction is there, then actually humans are actually social beings. So if people are isolated for a long period of time, that will lead to a lot of mental health issues like depression and other things. So maintaining a proper real social interaction is very important in terms of maintaining health. And final would be a gut microbiome. Gut microbiome is, there are more bacteria or virus in our body than our own cells. So all these bacteria are there in our body for a purpose. They are not parasites. That is, they are not trying to steal food from us, or they are not living within us without a purpose. So it is a symbiotic kind of a relationship where they are actually getting benefited out of us, and we are getting benefited from these gut bacteria. So they'll be able to digest and metabolize food, many foods that we will not be able to digest. So many nutrients that are required for the body is actually digested by these bacteria. So if you can focus on maintaining the health of this gut bacteria, that also helps in prevention and treatment of diseases. So when it comes to gut bacteria, there are only two things that you need to focus. One is the food for gut bacteria. So all these bacteria eat fiber as food and give a lot of beneficial things to us. So focus on getting a lot of fiber in your food. The more the fiber, the more the gut bacteria will be happy. And the other thing is fermented food. Fermented food adds important improves quality of the gut bacteria. So fiber and fermented food you should be focusing on in your diet. And it is very important to note that the intestinal layer, which is a very thin layer, it's about just 50 microns or a like a cellophane tape. It is so thin like a cellophane tape, because this is designed by the nature with a purpose, because 80% of immune cells are actually residing in the gut. So all these immune cells are actually trained by what is there in the intestinal tube. So there might be a lot of bacteria or waste that is present in the food. So the training of these immune cells, so that they know what is good, what is bad, all this training happens in this gut. So this thin layer is designed so that this exposure is adequately maintained. So this barrier is very important, so that the foods that are supposed to stay inside the gut, the waste or the bacteria that is supposed to stay inside the gut, should not enter your system. So this barrier is very delicate, and it is delicate for a reason, and that delicacy has to be maintained. So what has happened is, nowadays a lot of industrial pollutants, food additives are actually disrupting this barrier, and this is actually leading to increased causes of autoimmune diseases, or many allergic reactions that are taking place. So this is an article published in a journal, where they are saying that the changes in intestinal tight junction permeability, that is, the barrier gets disrupted because of industrial food additives. A lot of preservatives and other things we are consuming in processed food, and this is actually disrupting the gut barrier, and which is leading to increased incidence of autoimmune diseases. Similarly, stress is also contributing to this problem. So from the last 30 or 40 minutes of my talk, if you can take down some takeaways, the most important thing is to maintain a proper body mass index, that is proper weight. If you can maintain your weight and waist circumference in a normal range, that is going to be an extremely important measure in preventing multiple diseases. Then eat as natural as possible. Practice intermittent fasting or time restricted eating, that is, eat more in the day and less in the evening. And if you can maintain a gap of at least 12 hours to 12 to 13 hours, that will be very beneficial. Have adequate good quality 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Ensure good physical activity. If you can do exercise, very good. Even if you cannot find time for exercise during the course of the day, try to move more and increase your physical activity. Focus on breathing by doing pranayama. Manage and reduce stress. Have good and meaningful social interaction. And occasionally do fasting. Every religion promotes fasting for a scientific basis. It is not for a religious purpose. So there are a lot of scientific benefits that are associated with fasting. So fast occasionally and reduce your exposure to environmental toxins. There are a lot of toxins in the present day world: air pollution, food additives, preservatives, and so on and so forth. And finally, take care of your gut microbiome. If you can do all of this, managing or preventing disease is not going to be a big problem. So this was everything about the role of lifestyle in prevention of diseases. If you found out that this video was useful to you, please do like, comment, and share this video with your friends. And please subscribe to my channel for more such related content. And if you want to connect with me, we also run a program where we help people to either prevent or come out of diseases. So you can contact me. The details will be given in the description box. So I hope this slightly long but very useful and meaningful lecture was beneficial to you. And let's connect again in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye. Oh shit.